Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Remarkable You podcast, sharing stories of strength and bringing community together. I am honored to be sharing the screen today with the remarkable Ashley Geigle, who is the director of the Murdo Area Development Organization. And get this, I'm not even going to lie, I have to look at my cheat sheet because of all that she does. There's no way I can remember this all. She is driving economic growth, advancing critical housing development, and providing youth leadership programs to her surrounding community that has a population of just about 500 residents. So, serving a rural community. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. So excited to be here, honestly. Excited to do this podcast and just learn more about all of the women that were so remarkable that we got to meet a few weeks ago.
100%. And just in case anyone hasn't been following along in that journey, I just want to let everyone know. So, Ashley and I were recently honored as a part of a group of 124 remarkable women. And we are all from all over the country, quite literally, right? From Honolulu all the way over to the corners of Massachusetts. And we were all in such awe of each other. And so many of us thought, if we could continue these relationships and continue this moment and work together and spread what it is that we're all doing, what a powerful presence that is, what a powerful impact we could have. But also, so many of us said that we wish that every single woman could experience that, right? That all women could experience that weekend that we had. And so this is our way to kind of bring that out to everyone else and bring that joy and that feeling of, and correct me if I'm not capturing the feeling here, but of not apologizing for the amazing work that we're doing, owning that, sharing that, and using it to uplift and inspire each other. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, 100%. I think that was like one of the most rewarding things coming back from the trip, and being able to sit and digest was like, holy cow, I was just in a room full of really powerful women. And then like, what does that make me? you know?
Yes.
Um, and it's real hard. Like it's Midwesterner over here. I don't like to talk about myself a whole lot. I don't think anybody really does, right? Like,
Hmm.
but it's hard to sometimes recognize and appreciate the work that we put in, and to be able to just like t soak that all in and be like, some of these women are running nonprofits that are huge galore. And you kind of go to a moment of like, what am I doing in here? But then you're like, all that work, that like I personally I've done in the past 5, 6 years, like it's come to fruition, and like other people have begun to recognize that, and that's rewarding in itself. So yes.
Absolutely. Now, when I was introducing you, I gave a list that was so grand. I said I had to use my cheat sheet, right? Because there was no way I could remember all it is that you're doing. Where did this all start? How did it all begin? And where was your involvement with this to begin?
Sure. So with the economic development group, it was one of those things that like I graduated school from South Dakota State University with a hospitality management degree, knowing that I was going to come back rural. I wasn't committed necessarily to Murdo. I grew up here. But my junior year, I met my husband and got married, had kids, yada, yada. And there wasn't anything that Murdo is a very travel ridden town. Like you're usually going from one side of the state to the other. And so I knew hospitality would fit no matter what I did in Murdo, but I didn't really know what it was that I wanted to do. So little detour, worked at the school district for a little bit, worked at the clinic as the front desk assistant for a little bit, went to 4-H, and then the city opened up this position, not really knowing what it would look like. And I just knew that I wanted to get involved in the community. So I was like, well, let's give it a go. Let's see what happens. It was only guaranteed for 3 years. And there was just something that first, I would say 3 months, that I was like, this is home. This is where God wants me to be. Like, this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. So basically, when people ask me what I do as an economic development director, it's like I get to work for my community and build up the community in areas that may need a little uplifting, a little assistance. But like our overall goal obviously is community growth and business development. But like I get to hit all the fun areas too, like quality of life events or initiatives, public policy. Some people probably don't think that's super fun, but like I'm totally engaged in the state legislature and what's going on in our state. Infrastructure, housing, all sorts of different areas. We call them like building blocks here, that help make the community what it is, and then get to put the bow on it by storytelling and just sharing about the all the things that are going on in the community between the school district, this and youth sports to, um, you know, what our organizations are accomplishing and what's on the docket for the future. So, yeah,
Now, for anyone who might not be familiar with rural areas, a lot of times state funding is determined, the amount is determined by the population that's within the city or town. And so oftentimes rural areas are not receiving everything that they need for their community. So can you speak to the impact that you and your team are able to have and how important the role is that everyone there plays?
sure. Um, I would say that yes. Okay. So the state funding is, fortunately, South Dakota is mostly rural, right? Like we have Sioux Falls that wouldn't be considered rural, and then Rapid City, I think, is just over that rural marker. Um, but so a lot of our state funding we do get to go for. But it is a little bit trickier because sometimes you have to have those matches. And what gets tricky about that is where, we're a population of 500 and there's not another town around us, 20 miles, 30 miles is about the average. And they're in their own survival mode as well. Like
Mm.
there's that regionalism effect, but there's also like you have to fight for your right too, right? So it's been a big learning experience. We with our housing initiative is we were awarded a state program that gifted us $186,000 for 0% interest until we sell our homes. And then we had to basically match that on the other side. And that's probably been our biggest tangible project that we've done. So I was the first person in this position. Um, so I kind of have grown it to make it, I don't want to say my own, but like, because it's not like it's the community's position and so much of their input and whatnot goes forward. But it took us 4 years to kind of get on track where we could actually do a tangible project. So that's our first big tangible one is we have two governors' homes. The project total was about 350,000 where we received that grant for 186. And then there's just been a lot of different planning opportunities that we've been able to take advantage of as well. That yeah, the team has been able to put together, these are the goals of the community and this is what we would like to do. And it's just been really well supported, all the way from planning like a little campground at our little North Dam area to housing to daycare. So, and now investing in an industrial park that the city owned the land for. So that will be our next largest tangible project, as it's probably a 1.5 to $2 million project, which is really scary, but here we go.
That is, you know what? I hear you on the
Yeah,
scary, but holy smokes, is that incredibly exciting and
right.
speaks to all that everyone is doing. You mentioned that, feeling like everyone is in survival mode, but it definitely seems like that surviving is turning into thriving, right? And what would you say is the most powerful part of the community coming together when in that survival mode and now is having, all these amazing outcomes?
Yeah. So I think what's the coolest thing that's happened so far is um, I'm going to go back to like these governor homes. So
Hmm.
it there was a lot of community input in that as well. Um, a lot of hands-on community help. And when those houses came and when once we got our flooring installed and our appliances in, like we just had an open house and we wanted it to be, not that you wanted to buy the home necessarily, but we want you to come and see what you guys invested in, whether it was financially or your in kind, your time helping tear down the old house, putting up a new house, and just really being able to feel that pride that we felt, but also like I think it just up levels the community altogether and just gets everybody excited about what the future really is for our small town. Because the narrative is still a little bit that thriving, our rural is not thriving. But that's really where my passion comes through is like we will be thriving, we will be fine. Like, and we might not ever see numbers in the thousands again, but really that's okay. I think with our community, I don't think they want to necessarily. Maybe some do. Maybe I shouldn't speak for everybody. Um, but just to be, I don't even think it's about the numbers. It's just about um, being a place where a community can be together and have those basic needs met and still feel like home. So, yeah.
You stole the words out of my mouth because as I'm listening to you, the first thing that popped into my mind just now was it sounds like the community is a family and
Yeah.
how beautiful that is. How beautiful that is. And right as I was thinking that, you said feels like home. So
Yeah.
at 100%, I'm feeling that. I've never been there, but I am feeling that for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, and
Now,
sorry.
no, go ahead, go.
I think that's the fun part too, is like summertime. I get excited about summertime. Like sunshine's always good, right? But I'm a fall girl. Like I could live in fall year round. But it gets exciting because the kids are out of school, and so our school district is like 100-ish children, K-12, like 125 to 30, I think. So to see the kids like on their bikes though, just being able to walk the sidewalks, walk to the community pool, like it's such a place where as a parent, like you don't have to worry about where your kids are because the neighbor next door knows exactly what they're doing. And if they're misbehaving, you will find out. But if they're being great kids and doing, you're gonna also hear that. And so yeah, it really is just like one big family because they literally get to roam the community. There's one area, we have a truck stop in town, so the rule is you don't go past the four-way stop, but it's just a really great opportunity. And I loved growing up here, and I think my kids really enjoy it as well. So,
Hmm. Absolutely.
yeah,
And it's funny that you started talking about, when the kids are out of school in the summer and whatnot, because the next thing on my list, and I swear you and I are so in sync, was to talk about the youth leadership program. As an elementary school principal, I can't help but gravitate towards that.
yeah.
Can you share with us what it is that the youth leadership program is all about?
Yeah, so in South Dakota, we have a leadership organization called Leadership South Dakota. It goes all across the state. I did that class and I was the class of 2024. So um, when we graduate, we walk away with an I will statement. And my I will statement was that I will put together, create a youth leadership group with a teacher that is in our school district, but I didn't want it to be like when I called my friend Abby, I was like, hey, I have this idea. I want to throw it at you. I don't know what you think. Like, I want to do a youth leadership program based on the elementary grades before they get into junior high, before they get those student council opportunities. Like, I want them to really understand what it means and like the honor of being class president or student council or you know what I mean like just being able to really understand like the concept of what leadership is before you get there. And I was like I don't want it to be grade based. I want it to be based on their needs or their wants, like do they want to be at the program or do they not, and I just really wanted it to make sure that it allowed anybody that thought that they would want to become a leader and not turn them away because of their grades or their behavior. And she's a heck of an amazing woman. I actually nominated her last year and she went for the Remarkable Woman Award in LA.
Stop
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
So-
That's
Yeah.
hysterical.
Yeah. And anyway, yeah, that's a whole nother story maybe. Um, but so
That's part two. That's our next
right?
episode.
Yeah. So she right away was like, I've been praying about this for 2 years. I've been searching for it. I didn't know how to get this going. Like, let's give it a go. So 3 years ago, we had our first class. We figured we would open it up to 12 students, fourth, fifth, and sixth, which is average, probably, your 25 to 30 students in those grade levels. And we only ended up with four, and I was really bummed. And then the program director for the South Dakota leadership was like, take it in strides. Like, you guys are doing something amazing. Like, just keep going. Don't act like, you have your full 12 and blah, blah, blah. So we did. We had a great time. And last year we doubled it. We had eight. And so I was like, all right, here we go. And we got to do now this year we have 10 applicants. So we're still not at that 12, but we're growing. Um, and basically what we do is we go through, like I mentioned, Murdo is like a tourist community. So we have a variety of businesses, right? We have the truck stop, hotels. I mean, we have like five, six hotels, three or four restaurants, and a town of 500. So like, I mean, I'm pretty impressed by that.
I
We
was
have
going
the
to say, that's
hardware
really
store.
impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have hardware store, coffee shop, all these different fun little places. Um, so we decided that we were going to take them, like our first trip is always to do like a business visit. So last year we went to the pilot truck stop and they got to go behind the scenes. They got to check out Subway, how Subway works, the organization that the pilot has like in their stock rooms, they're in the warehouse building and all that. And they like I was so surprised that they were so in awe of that, of like how the systems work and everything. Um, so that was one of their big ones. We also went to visit like the building center, how they cut lumber, get to kind of get the feel of a small business, a small mom and pop owned business. And then we went to the bank, one of the banks in town, and they got to get in the old vault. So they got to carry big amounts of money and change and touch all the things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it was kind of like that unique hands-on experience. And then our class two, we usually do like a community service based, working with the Meals on Wheels program in the
Hmm.
community, cleaning up the park, just different areas around there, cleaning up the trash in a block or a couple blocks. And then our third one, we go to our electric co-op is based in Murdo. So we go and learn about electric safety, what it looks like in their day-to-day routine, and then they get to go up in the bucket truck. So, um,
Stop. I want to go in the bucket truck.
right?
I'm coming.
So
I want to go.
right. And last year they talked me into going in it. So they were pretty stoked about that. The fun part about that is my husband is the line superintendent. So he's the one that kind of gets to run them up and down.
Yep.
And so he was joking with me and making
Did
me
he leave you
scared.
up
And the
there?
kids were laughing. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. The
Yeah.
kids thought it was great that he was tormenting me. So,
Oh,
um,
100%. He probably thought
right.
it was great. He was
Oh,
tormenting you. Yeah. Best day of his
1000%.
life, I
Yeah. Yeah.
bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we wrap up. We kind of do we travel. So we either go to Pierre or Chamberlain. And the reason why we do that is we try to get some different cultural opportunities involved while also giving them like a fun day, like at the pool, bigger pool than our city pool, water slides and the lazy river and all that stuff. So, um, one year we did Chamberlain. We went to oh man, the Acta Lakota Museum. So we got to learn all about the Native American culture and walk through that museum. And last year we went to the Discovery Center and did like a STEM activity on the constellations. So just kind of a little something different, a little fun, try to take them to a unique experience, different type of a restaurant than maybe they would normally eat at, and kind of have a heyday. And then we do a family celebration as their graduation at the end where they get to invite their families and they get to choose the meal. And yeah, it's just kind of Yeah, it kicks off summer.
Oh my gosh, that is phenomenal. And I'm sure that you might not feel it because you're in the thick of it. And the amount of work that goes behind the
Yes.
scenes for this, I'm sure is tremendous. But someone from the outside looking in, someone who works with children of a variety of age ranges, I want to tell you that, and I hope that you know, you are providing experiences that they are going to remember for the rest of their
Yeah.
lives. You are providing experiences that are going to tap into that interest where they find their passion for life. That is incredibly powerful. And I want to make sure I'm understanding this correctly. So please correct me if I'm wrong. Did you say that this all started with an I will statement that you made while you were in school
In the leadership
in a
self-control
leadership?
class. Yep.
Wow, how powerful that is.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Like you had that goal, you had that statement, and you beyond made that statement come to
Yeah.
life. That's
Yeah.
incredibly powerful. I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to take that. I'm going to use that. But
Yeah.
and to put it in perspective, my school that I'm a principal of has just under 500 kids.
Sure.
So, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do this and I'm going to find a
Right.
way to hold on to those statements and give it to them, later on when they're older and remind them of that goal because what a powerful moment that you had in that
Hmm.
that you're experiencing, that you're having, in the work that you're doing with that. I mean, no wonder I needed a cheat sheet to say
Right.
all of your accomplishments, and I'm sure I
So,
didn't even like break the ice with that. So
yeah.
you are phenomenal, and I hope that you and everyone that you work with is able to soak that in and feel that. And what a blessing you are to your community. What a blessing everyone that's around you is, and what a blessing your community is. It sounds like an incredibly special place and
Yeah.
I'm honored to have shared this time with you. Now,
Yeah.
I have to ask you because everything that you just mentioned is you giving, you providing. What is something that you do that others might benefit to hear about that you do that refills your cup, rejuvenates you so that you can give as much as you're giving?
Yeah, so I have a I have had a very strict rule with my husband for well my daughter is 13, no, 12. She'll be 13 in October. But ever since I was pregnant with her, I have a very strict rule that I have a non-negotiable that I get a massage every month. Um,
Ooh!
I know. And there are months where it gets real hard because we don't have beautiful winters here.
Yep.
But I and I think what that does, right? Like you're always looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and but it also gives me the freedom, like if I'm going to do it and just take like a half day off and, enjoy that moment, or if I'm going to take that full day. Um, but that really is, I mean, he knows, right? There are times where he is like, "Well, I don't think we need to do another massage." And I was like, well, listen, like
Is
this has
that
been
why
the
he left
rule.
you up in the truck?
Yeah, right.
Was it appointment day?
Right. Yeah, he was like, "Not today, honey." Um, but yeah, no, so and it has been like I am very faithful with that. Like it is every 4 to 5 weeks. And like I said, it just gives like that moment to look forward to. You never don't look forward to a massage. Um,
Hmm.
and it gives that moment of quiet and like just a whole vibe, right? But I also am very into like holistic and natural health. So there's a lot of mental health that goes in with that as well. And I have done a lot of work. Like that's the part that I really do have to recognize for myself is 7, 8 years ago, I would not be able to mentally do this position or even I want to say like graciously receive the recognition that has been given to me and the development corp and our community and everything. Um, because there was a lot there and a lot of whether it was the going to see a therapist or working with a naturopath or I did some emotion coding for a little bit, like just really getting down into some of those emotions and letting some of the past pain and the past hurt out so that I am ready to receive the love that
Mm-hmm.
is
Mm-hmm.
being thrown my way. Um, and then just like really also in the past, I'd say 6 years, like my faith has just really, really grown. And I used to be one that was like, maybe I'll go to church. I don't really know. And like now it's like that is just Sunday morning. Like I am going to, I need my church family. I have learned this. Like my church family helps me get through the week. So
Yeah. And
that's
what
kind
I
of,
want to point out, oh, go ahead.
as I say, that's kind of my realm of taking care of me.
Yeah, and I want to point out too that like when what I'm hearing when you're talking about the variety of ways that you're making sure that you refill your cup so that you can give, it's not apologizing
Yeah,
for taking time for yourself to take care of
100.
yourself. You know, because how often do we, especially like one, being a woman in general, right? And then you
Right,
mentioned like you're a wife, you're a mom, you are doing all this fantastic work within your community every part of your day, whether you're home or you're at work, you are giving, right? And you had the courage to say, wait a second. If I'm going to do all of this, here's my
Mhm.
non-negotiable. Here's how I'm going to take care of ourselves. And I just wanted to point that out because that's brave. We're taught to give and give and give and put ourselves last, but the reality is that we our giving can only be as good as we are.
Right.
And I think that's phenomenal and just such an important piece for anyone who's listening to take away from this of, you know what? Like it's okay for me to take care of me. I'm going
It
to
is
be better
not
for that and
selfish.
everyone around me.
Yeah, you are not selfish for taking care of you. Like that was step one in that recognition. So, yeah.
100%. Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of all the giving that you give. But you know what? You didn't take time out of giving because you gave to everyone listening today. And I thank you so much for that. Ashley, you are remarkable. And I look forward to continuing our conversations, to continuing to sharing your amazing work. And I thank you for joining us. And I thank everyone for listening. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.